Welcome back to Turf Wars. Now, sports has always been a part of Jesse Lawrence's life. Actually, his fight career began when his NBA career ended. He now has a record of 3-1 in the World Combat League. That's not bad for a guy who only started fighting 2 years ago.
The body rocker, Jesse Lawrence.
You know, I train the way I fight, and I fight the way I train. There's no difference. Me, I'm coming right at you and at different angles, and you just better get out the way. That's the best bet. They learn the hard way. Speed beats power any day. Because I'm going to put it on you for 3 minutes. They say all I do is throw bomb. Well, I can throw bomb for 3 minutes.
Finding himself at a crossroads, Jesse went from shooting three-pointers to fighting for 3 minutes, all due to a Rocky marathon.
And I was like, man, I want to learn how to hit a speed bag. And then I actually started calling the gym. And man, I went in there, and 3 months later, I had a world amateur title. Then 7 months later, I was at the WCL. So here I am. It's the training that wins the fights. It's not the actual fight. When I get my hand raised, that's from my 6-week training session. You know, I fight in my training camp, and I just have a party out there in the ring. I can actually look in people's eyes, man, and I can tell whether they have heart or not. And I have that ability to either take your wheel immediately or eventually. At any point in time, I can take you out just by looking in the eyes. Man to man, I think I would put my money in the bank on me any day.
Now, two teams that need to put a win in the win column are Jesse Lawrence's own Oklahoma Destroyers. They took on the Denver Fury. It's an experience versus hope matchup. And why wait? We'll go to the heavyweights. Kurt Unchained Hasley squaring off with the Black Rage Ed Burris. The big guy's getting after it. Watch the right hand from Burris. Unbelievable. He probably didn't have Hasley hungering for anyone's touch. Al Wiggers says, no mas.
Well, my strength is my hands, my strength is my feet, whatever they come, I bring. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. You know, wherever they bring, I'll bring better, faster, stronger.
Denver's Matt Callahan squared off against Jesse Lawrence. Early in this one, Lawrence, great-looking left hook, puts Callahan on the mat. Callahan resilient, took a lot of shots, would go the distance in this one. Lawrence wins it 15-7.
Feel like a winner, baby. The heat is on.
Complete war took on place between Thomas Longacre and Jack Johnson, two very active fighters. Look at the exchanges. This is exactly what we've come to expect out of that 147-pound class. Longacre with a cut above the eye, but look at the cardio. This one goes in favor of Longacre.
He came at me pretty aggressive, but from watching the last fight, I knew he was going to be that way, so I just knew I had to stay my ground a little bit. I knew he was going to exchange a little bit, you know, but everything worked out great. I think I just outlasted him a little bit toward the end of the round, and I think I just stepped up another level, and I just started overwhelming him a little bit then.
At halftime, it was the Oklahoma Destroyers 75, the Denver Fury 58, and things would start to get a little interesting in the second half. And who better to right the ship than the Denver's big man, Ed Burris? He would get a new opponent, and it would be the same result. John McKibben trying to settle down the Black Rage early going. Ed Burris absorbing some shots from McKibben. However, he delivers a shot of his own, puts McKibben on the mat with the left hook. Later, again, Burris with the defense turn offense. Another knockout punch. Denver begins to close the gap, 15-0. Burris with 2 KOs on the night. And London Prey getting his shot at Jesse Lawrence. Lawrence popping that head back of London Prey. This is why he's known as the body rocker. The big flying knee. Finally, Lawrence delivers the knockout blow. London Prey praying for mercy against Jesse Lawrence. Huge KO as Denver had really closed the gap.
I knew once we was down 3-point, I knew what I had to do. And it wasn't no second guessing, no second thought. Keep it simple, like they say, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. One down the pipe, and he out of there.
Tom Johnson taking on Douglas Edwards. Douglas Edwards would be working the body with the knee strikes over and over again. Work the body and the head will fall, and that's finally what happens in this one. The final is 136-110. It is the Oklahoma Destroyers. Very, very tough. Douglas Edwards was penalized 1 point. That's why Tom Johnson has the 1 point, 15-1. But all Oklahoma, 136-110. They put one in the win column, and they needed one. Western Conference standings look like this. Los Angeles is now 2-0. Oklahoma 1-1. Texas 1-1. And Denver falls to 0-2. And on Turf Wars, we're kicking some things around. Denver will take a shot at the Stars. We'll preview Denver and LA coming up after the break.